Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. African president of the United States of America, President Barack Obama.
Good to see you. I just want to say everybody back home, right back at you. We appreciate you. You always give us straight talk.
And welcome to Straight Talk. Today we're going to be a little light. We're not going to be so hard on the public and your antics. We're going to talk about music and what soothes the Raisin Bull. Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mark and Tasty. Is that right?
Yes.
The Raisin Bull is soothed with nice, mellow lyrics and tones.
Right.
So Mark and Tasty, which is Latif Holiday, is going to do a little music for us today. We're just going to talk about it.
We could talk about it. Yeah.
Talk about it. Both you guys, you're in unison doing that.
Talk about it. Absolutely.
What do you want to talk about? What do you want to tell us about your new show that's coming up?
Well, I'm a musician. I've been playing music. Started out playing drums at the age of 3. Then kind of got bored with it, so I taught my brother and a couple other younger guys who's been on tour and stuff like that with various artists, and I started picking up piano, keyboard, and organ, which I do now. Started that at about the age of 11.
Well, I think I heard once you play one, you can play them all.
That's true.
It's just sound.
Just a different sound. Absolutely.
And where are you playing now?
Right now I play for 4 different churches out in the Chicagoland area. And I'm currently working out, actually in the process of building me a full-fledged studio in downtown Chicago. I worked out of many studios, Kanye West, all type of people that I've dealt with, Carl Thomas, many different, even Chicago gospel artists that I've dealt with, played for, and dealt with a lot as well.
Great. Now what about you, Tasty? Where are you working?
Right now, I am working with house music legends such as Farley, Liddell Townsend, building a name within the house community. House music has allowed me to grow within myself and to be like a free spirit.
You mind not making the
Oh yes, definitely.
the audience become dizzy watching you?
House music has been great, been able to expand myself. So I like it, just love it, being able to just come out the hip hop world. So I think it's just.
You're mostly rap, or you do singing as well?
Also singing too, a little. I want to say more pop than anything.
Did your last name get you into singing?
No, not at all.
Compared you to Billie Holiday?
No, not at all. Once I got off into house music, I met Rocky Jones. Rocky is a house legend. He started house music, and Rocky, he saw that, he's like, tell me about Billie, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, you caught that, So he started like digging into my history and my family history and pulling up pictures, and he like, I gotta add it. I just got to like show the similarities and show, that you all look alike. And he just started pulling it up, and once he did that, everybody was like, wow, it's amazing, because if you do look into our family, the holidays, we all do. We have all those similar features, so it does help in some areas,
So what are the relation?
She is a cousin to me, and I think it's like a second generation of cousins. So
Second cousin, that's not bad.
yes, not
Still bloodline.
Right, exactly.
Now when you get down to third or fourth,
Yeah.
they marry.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
right. Yeah, definitely.
But what would you see against marrying a first cousin?
Oh, a lot. Birth defects.
What about you, Mara?
I don't condone it
Right.
at all.
You see birth defects as well?
I see a lot of defects.
What do you see?
Birth, mental, heart, vision. So I see a lot of defects, more so mentally than anything. I think mentally.
You know what? I think it's only a belief that someone has taught you. It had nothing to do with reality.
Really?
Who are the fastest horses on the track?
Thoroughbreds.
And what is a thoroughbred?
Basically,
Bloodline.
a bloodline, yeah.
Wow.
Thoroughbred. I mean, it's got to be close. It's a sister and a brother creates the fastest horse. And the people who control this world, really. And they got you. They want to keep you. They have dummied us down to the extent that we think it's something wrong with that. And because of that, even myself included, and I know better, I could not dare have a relationship with a cousin,
Right.
you know, because of what has been brought back into my brain. So, but if you look at the royal families, the royal families, it was against the law to marry outside the family.
True.
So if they have all this power in the world and they're inbred, why do we still say it's something wrong with marrying inside the family or having relationships within the family? See, more thoughts. I like to put thoughts on the folks, on the mind of
Right.
folks.
Right.
But what do you think now, Mark?
Well, I think, I mean, my view about it is probably not going to ever change.
Yeah, but it can't,
Yeah.
because it's ingrained in our psychics. But at least know the truth, and it'll
Right.
set you free.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with
You
that.
may not want to act on the truth,
Right.
but you know the truth.
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
I agree with that.
See, so you know that. Oh, you'd be born with a defect. You'd be born with this. And when I was in the sheriff department, my judge, I was a bodyguard for a judge, and he sent for me, right? And he said, just wait there for a second. So I stood at the back of the courtroom. He wanted me to hear this because we talked about this as we traveled, because he was a traveling juvenile judge. And when they called up the next case, it was a mother and her 4 kids. The oldest kid was, I think, 19, and he was the father of the other 3.
Wow. Wow.
And the thing was, they never charged her with anything. How can they? You know, but they wanted to know if they were. I think they had a child abuse complaint against her at that time, and they could have come to court to argue that case. But that was, you know, it was something to see. Spry, healthy little kids whose brother was their father.
Right.
And I think you see a lot of that,
Yeah,
but you just don't know it.
just don't know.
Because you got these perverted fathers who will impregnate their daughters, and you got the perverted mother like this mother who will get impregnated by a son. So you got that all over the country, all over the world, really. So, but why do we call it perverted? All right.
Well,
Because in our minds, it is. In our head, it is.
Right.
So we got to call it what it is.
Yep.
Yep.
In our own understanding of things, how we've been taught. You know, and that whole thing is centered around what I'm attempting to spoon feed into the public a little bit at a time, maybe through guests or just through the airways. That you have been dummied down made to believe, and belief has no power at all. Believe, knowledge is power.
Right.
So if you want to get some understanding of something, get the knowledge of it. Don't accept someone else's word. Say, okay, I believe that, and go off on the wrong feet. So the most important thing about life is what? The consciousness of the life. But do we listen to the consciousness?
Not all the time.
All I'm saying.
What happens when we don't listen to the consciousness?
Most of the time you don't fulfill what you're supposed to be or do on earth.
Or something happens.
Something right.
Getting
How many
led
times
astray.
have you heard a person say, if I followed my first mind?
Yep.
See, ain't no such thing as a first mind, but it's the conscious.
Cliches, right.
The conscious is attempting to lead you around some trepidation, and you don't follow it,
Right.
and you, oh my goodness, I didn't follow my first mind. Now, but Lady T, are you going to sing for us today?
If you would like me to
I would love you to.
rap.
Your rap? You bring a tape, a rap tape?
No, because I usually have everything like emailed or flash drive or something like that.
Anything online that they can pull up?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, just music. Well, you can rap with it even.
Right, definitely, because my voice it'll overtake it anyway.
Yeah, and you know all the beats. I mean, you wouldn't be out of time at all.
Oh no, not
Okay.
at all.
We're gonna try that. I want to hear you. I heard a tune. Can't remember what was the name of the tune. You were singing with a guy.
It was with the guy.
Yeah.
I have a couple of those.
It was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube. Was it Get Revenge?
Not YouTube. Was it YouTube or Facebook? One of the two.
Okay.
Either YouTube or Facebook. But we're going to take a break and allow them to pull it up.
Okay,
And I want to hear it.
definitely.
Okay. We'll be right back after these messages. Now, guys, Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
That's slow. That's slow. Look, he's blushing. Seriously. Okay.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. It's like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our House Watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Okay, we're back. And in a few minutes, Tasty is going to do a rap tune for us. She's going to show those fabulous talents of hers. And while doing the tune, she's going to also model. Right?
That's good.
I got you.
She's like, got you. And Mark's going to do an air guitar while.
Air guitar.
All right. Don't get too cocky now. Cliff may have a guitar in the back.
Oh man, put me on the spot.
Because Cliff plays and sings himself.
Okay.
And he's excited when musicians are here.
Absolutely.
Our chief engineer becomes enamored with what's going on out here, and he forgets, hey, I'm supposed to be running this show.
Right. That's what music does.
Yeah, it will captivate you.
Yes, it will.
You know, when I was coming up, we didn't have all the strife we have now. We had some problems, but not all the strife we're having now. Because how many nightclubs around the city did we have that had entertainment, music? People getting happy and going, you know, dancing and just having fun. Listening to musicians, listening to singers.
Right.
And we didn't have strife. The musicians got greedy.
Still are.
I mean, the entertainers. You know, once I remember Tyrone Davis, Otis Clay, and all those guys used to go from joint to joint on the weekends. Make $100 here, $200 over here. When they get through going to joints, you know, they go and sing. They sing a couple of tunes. They go jump in their car and go to the next joint and do 2 or 3 tunes. They made $1,000. Okay, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they're going. They got $3,000. So, but they, man, I got to make more than that. In fact, Tyrone Davis, I took him to New York because I had a friend. No, my cousin worked with Sidney Seidenberg. You know Sidney Seidenberg?
I heard that.
He was B.B. King and Roberta Flack. Not Roberta Flack. No. B.B. King, Gladys Knight, and Taj Mahal. Those are his three acts at the time. And by him working in the office with my cousin, who was a publicist, I asked her, I said, Sid, what would you do with Tyrone Davis? He said, Tyrone Davis? He said, man, he said, I put Tyrone Davis, Aretha Franklin, I keep saying Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight and B.B. King on the same bill, and I could take them around the world. He said, when they come back, it'll be the biggest thing in the music industry, because Tyrone Davis is great in what he does, B.B. King is greater in the music, in the blues. He said, that would be a knockout. He said, I don't miss Tyrone. Whenever he comes to New York, I go and see him. He said, but I can't get close to him. He said, I'll bring him to you. So I talked him into going to New York with me. And he had a, what do you call it, perm?
Yeah.
Hair hanging down. This was at a time when we were all wearing afros. And Sidney said, you know, after he talked, agreed to meet, agreed to what they would do. And Tyrone was supposed to come back and sign the contract. He was going to have the contract made up. He was going to come back that Monday and sign the contract. In fact, we were going to stay in New York until Monday. And Sidney made the sad mistake of saying, now Tyrone, the first thing you got to do now is cut that hair off.
Image.
He said, cut my hair off for what? He said, why? He said, well, you know, Sidney is a Jew, and he had long hair hanging down, but it wasn't all done up, you know, it was just hanging down. And Tyrone, he said, you know, he said, those white folks are funny. They don't want to see phony blacks right now.
That's true.
They want to see for real blacks.
Well, it's still like that now.
He said they're respecting for real blacks. They don't respect phony blacks.
It's still like that now.
Yeah, it's still like that.
It's still like that. But I don't get the real black thing. Like, what is real black? Like, me being in the music industry and coming up with music and playing and playing for many different artists, both black and white.
But he was talking about his hair. He wasn't talking about anything but the hair. He said he was portraying a phony by wearing hair that he was not born with.
Well, if that's the case, then a lot of people in the industry, right to this day, are phony. And you have people that portray, like they used to call them studio gangsters. You know, they'll come in there, they'll rap about selling drugs, they'll rap about murdering somebody and having spent a day in jail, having killed no one. And there's back in the day, used to call them studio gangsters.
In other words, you're saying it. They're phony anyway.
Yeah, they're phony anyway. But their music, the music was selling because of the rhyme, the hip hop, the beat, and stuff like that. And what happened was people started kind of magnifying the fact that he's rapping about going to jail. And what happened with society took it as, I can go to jail and become the same thing.
Who rapped about killing the cop?
Well, it's NWA. They rapped about killing cops. Tupac.
I'm talking about who's a big star right now. And he's playing a cop.
Who?
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Definitely.
Ice Cube. Ice-T. Not Ice Cube. Ice-T.
Ice-T. He did. And he's playing a cop. Right. Well, I mean, that's the way the industry is.
He became big doing that.
Yeah. It's all tied in. I think music and film, to me, nowadays it's all tied in. I think back then it was more frowned upon. Like you had to either do one or the other. But now you have, because you had so many quote unquote phony rappers that they know how to act on the screen, and some have actually lived that life, you know, of doing certain
don't
things.
Let him out talk you. Don't let him out talk you.
No, but it's true. You're absolutely right.
He's right. He's right in what he's saying, but I'm just saying, you know,
Right.
don't let him out talk you.
No, that's true. I want him to finish his point because you got rappers like, you got Rick Ross, which is not even his name. Because my uncle, the real Rick Ross, you know, you have Ricky Rose, who was originally a probation officer. Now he's rapping about those who he used to lock up. So it's like,
and he pretend he's them. He's
right, you know, and you know, my uncle very humble about it because like when he came here and he's promoting his book right now, and a lot of guys like, how do you feel about it? You know, he's like, you know, it is what it is. You know, what's real, that's what it's about. You know, and if you could walk around and portray something fake and live with yourself, then hey,
it's messed up.
It is. It's messed up. You know, and that's why you have rappers like Tupac that say, "Real recognize real."
You see, you still think Tupac is here.
You know what? When you words will realness will always live on.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
and
like they say, Elvis is still living. If Elvis could still be living, so can Tupac.
but it's amazing how you know you can make hits, and old school will always have hits.
Yeah.
I mean, you could play a tune from back in the day and play it today, and it's like, man, that's still a hit. How you still got a hit today? You know, it's like the music will never be. We continue to bring it back, and you have people that want to erase formula. You cannot erase the formula. You can add on to it, but you can't erase the formula. And we have this generation now that wants to erase that formula, and I'm all about paying homage, and that's what it's about. You got to pay homage, you know. And the artists now, they like, oh, forget this person that existed, forget that. You can't say that, you know. And I'm big on that. I'm very big on that. You know, I don't care if you good at your craft. If you're not paying homage, I say let's erase you. Period. You know, so I don't have any respect for people that cannot give tribute to those that laid ground for us today. You know, because that's what it's all about. Even in history, even in Bible times, you know, people you had the Old Testament versus the New Testament. People say, oh, the Old Testament doesn't exist. It does. It's there for examples to say this is what happened, and if you don't do according to this, then this is what's going to happen. You know, so it's a tit for tat.
You believe that?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
I do.
Too.
Okay.
I do.
It's the truth. It's true.
Yeah, it is.
Can't you see that's a part of our problem?
Yes,
it's a huge part of our problem. That's why
I'm talking about believing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's why what I do, being a musician, I don't just musician. I try to teach, and you know, the right way. Like she was saying in reference to paying homage and sticking with the same formula. When I teach someone music, I teach them the roots, learn your basic scales first, different things of that nature. Just like I'm just not a musician, like I have my own company where I employ musicians as well in their respective places. Being the fact that if they need to be at a venue, at a genre, I employ the musician for the proper thing. Some gigs you don't have to read, some gigs you do. But it's important that you have both. And that's why I try to, with my company, employ musicians. There's no such thing as the right musician, because every musician has what they're good at, and they have what they're weak at. So what I try to do is bring the weaknesses up and make them stronger in their craft and in their area, and employ them to different genres or studios or rap artists or singers.
You know the best way to do that? Erase everything that they've been taught.
Yeah.
And then tell them, don't listen to me talk, listen to me play.
Absolutely.
See, I teach my students. Anything you see anyone else do, you can do it. Just watch them for a minute.
That's how I learned.
And it doesn't take a long time if you're really interested in that.
That's how I learned. True. I learned by ear. I never went to school. I never sat in a classroom setting. I never done that. When I was growing up as a young boy, I was from church to church, from club to clubs, different things of that nature. My grandfather was an actual musician. My other grandfather played with Buddy Guy and B.B. King. So I just kind of watched. I mimicked everything that they do on whatever instrument, and that's how I learned how to play. Now, he sat down and tried to teach me how to read. I was dumbfounded. But when I started looking and putting it together myself and just reading and playing and mimicking everything they did, that's how I found myself learning how to play. So I never attended a certain school, or, you know, honestly speaking, I never felt I needed to. I told someone this just today, that I was the type of kid growing up where my sister will be the one in the room studying for hours and hours, and I was the one that walk in and go, no, the answer is X minus Y equals squared. And my mother would be like, you got it. And so what I tried to do, I tried to implement that with my music, but then go back and actually study my craft, which a lot of musicians do not do. They go off their talent, and their talent only gets them so far. That's true. And versus just them actually studying their craft. So when I
don't believe that now.
I believe it. Art Tatum, all those guys. I grew up listening to them.
Well, see, you know, you're talking about B level, not the A level.
Right.
The A level of individual never went to school for that at all, and they never studied it. It all came from the consciousness. Everything that somebody can teach you is universal. And if it's universal, it's already inside of you. All you got to do is learn how to bring it out. If you teach a person how to bring it out. In fact, what I tell my students, if you see a man flying, don't get excited. Just say, oh, we can fly too, huh? You know, we can fly. If he's flying, we can fly. So just catch up with him and find out how he did it.
That's true.
So the point is, the school was meant for one thing: indoctrinate you into a system and to make you feel that everything that you do has to be taught to you by someone else. So they spoon feed you, only giving you what they want you to have and what they want you to deal with. Like, we look at a doctor as a highly educated individual. No, he's trained to be a doctor. That's where his educational skills stop. He had to go through the college school system, so he knows how to speak well. He knows how to write.
The theory of it.
Yeah, he knows. he knows all of that.
Yeah.
Now, but when it comes down to true life, it totally eludes him, the lawyer, the judge, who judges you and sends you to the penitentiary.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, how can a judge sit in judgment of an individual, and someone comes and says, Judge, you played a tape, and the tape only went so far, and you're convicting the man off of those words. Listen to the rest of the tape, and you will see that that other part is just pure folly. It was just jokes. If you listen to the rest of the tape, you'll see it wasn't. No, well, I can't listen to the rest of the tape. Why not? The government presented that tape. If the government presented the tape and they only want me to go this far, that's what I have to do. If it was your tape, you could tell me to play the whole thing.
Right.
But now, how stupid is that? So you're going to send an innocent man to jail because they don't want to play the tape. Now, you know, to bear it out, a friend of mine, alderman of the, I think 21st Ward, he cleaned up a yard for an individual, had the yard cleaned up by the city trucks, city street sweepers, and they called him and said, we want to, can you come down and talk with me? Sure. So he went down, and they asked him, they told him, we really appreciate you cleaning up the yard. Now, how much we owe you? He said, man, it's my job to clean streets. or to make sure my water is clean. I should pay you for advising me that it needed cleaning around here. He said, so no, you can't pay me for anything like that. No, come on now, we want to give you something, we want to help you out. And he said, okay, you want to help me out? The city council is giving a fundraiser for me for a trip to South Africa for the Mandela elections. Okay. And he was a monitor for the Mandela elections. And they said, okay, we'll get some tickets. We'll support you on that. He said, okay. He said, the tickets are $100 each. He said, how many do you want? How many do we have to buy? He said, no, I can't tell you how many to buy. How many do you want? How many do you need? He said, is $1,000 enough? He said, sure it is. He said, let me go around and get you some tickets. He's out there in my briefcase downstairs. He said, no, we don't need any tickets. We don't need any tickets. Here, take your money. He said, okay, well, let me get you a receipt. He said, man, will you stop talking about tickets and receipts? We're trying to give you a bribe here. And everybody laughed. And he said, I'm sorry, I don't take bribes. He said, well, go ahead, take this. This is just for you. So he took that and walked out. Now, they didn't play the part where he said,
he don't take bribes.
Right. Just took it and walked out. They didn't play any of the part where he told them in the beginning that he does not go around taking bribes. He had a job to keep the ward clean. They didn't play any of that tape. Now, how the public found that out, his lawyer found the tape in discovery, tried to get the judge to play it, the judge refused to play it.
Wow.
He put it on VON, and they played the whole thing. And we saw this innocent man go to jail for 3 years, lost his position.
Today's society. That's exactly like today's society.
Sure, yes.
So is that an educated judge or an indoctrinated fool?
A little bit of both. You can't take away the fact that he went to school for what he had to do.
Going to school, that's what I'm saying. Going to school is not education.
Yeah.
Right.
That's indoctrination.
Sure.
See, they don't tell you that all that stuff that you really learn is coming from here, and if you want to take it further, you can do it further. They don't tell you that. They only tell you that, okay, we're spoon-feeding you this, and this is all you know.
Well, with education now, you can have all the doctors in the world, you still can't find a job. So a lot of people get jobs now through experience. You know, even if you have bachelors, they'll still say, but we still need 4 years of experience. So it seems like experience is your degree.
But who give those jobs out?
Well,
or who you know.
Who own the businesses?
Yeah.
That person who owns the business is educated. He hasn't gone to anybody's school.
Or generation. He's been passed down.
No. He created the business. He created the business.
Yeah.
Because there's no, when he's not brainwashed.
Well, it's in the dictionary.
He said, you know how black folks talk. I said, well, do you talk disparagingly how Hispanics talk? Do you talk disparagingly how Italians who just over from Italy talk, or those who are in the household, they speak with their dialect? You know, why are you disparaging against your own language or your own dialect? That's all it is, a dialect, because you're around people who speak like this. So why be ashamed of it, or why let someone call it something other than what it is, a dialect?
Well, I think that's the biggest problem in the world today. I mean, it's interracial racism. And what I mean by that is,
you're absolutely right.
Is blacks against blacks. And we're against each other more than other races are against you, especially in the music. I'm sure she could relate to that, especially in the music industry. You know, they say Chicago is the place where you can't grow because we're like crabs in a bucket. You know, you see one person and another person pulling them down, and I don't believe in that.
Okay, we're going to take another break and allow Tasty to go up and serenade us. Okay? We'll be right back.
Good morning, and this is your boy One Flow, and we are live right here on intellectualradio.com with none other, that's right, none other, Miss Latay Holiday, a.k.a. Tasty. Good morning, Miss Tasty.
Good morning, One Flow. Thank you for having me today.
Look, let me go straight to the interview. Listen, word on the street is that you are having a contest to help promote your album. Is that true?
Yes. Well, I thought it would be a great idea to give one lucky guy the chance of having a VIP, all expense paid with the VIP trimmings on top. And all I need him to do is to text me with a great creative idea on how he would treat and romance a woman like me. That's it. And I need for him to be creative and not go over the top with it.
Okay, well, fellas, you heard it here first on intellectualradio.com. She is offering you a chance to win a VIP evening, all expenses paid date with the finest, I'm talking about thicker than a first grade pencil, a.k.a. Tasty herself. Now, the number that she was referring to is 708-495-4989. I repeat, 708-495-4989. So listen, yours truly, that's right, One Flow himself is doing 2 push-ups, 3 sit-ups. I'm going to put baby oil on from the top of my head to the crown of my feet, and I'm going to hold my stomach in. So, Miss Latay, I want to thank you for stopping off at the studio, and I believe right now we're about to go ahead and get to your song. Name of the song, I believe, is Take
Your Clothes.
Take Off Your Clothes.
Good luck to all the guys.
Okay.
Shout it. trouble.